Hello and welcome back to the Polishing Diaries. My name's Colby. I believe this is episode 5. I've got my coffee. I was just doing some quotes and I've got some sad news this morning. Our hamster Moonlight has passed away, unfortunately. So we won't be feeding her this morning. I've already fed the other ones, so I'll finish up what I've got on the laptop and head straight to the workshop. So I'll see you then. Here we are at the workshop. Today will probably be a short one. I'm not sure how long it will pan out, but we have an ALFA ROMEO steering wheel. It's off a very old classic one, I believe. I'm not sure what one it is, but this is the steering wheel for it. That's the centerpiece. And what we're doing, we're taking it from this brush finish to a nice mirror finish. It'll look pretty cool. So as you can see at the minute, it's on like a nice brush, but the client wants it all nice and mirror. And who are we to tell him no? So let's have a look. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is tape up this wood to give it some protection. Don't really want to damage it or damage the lacquer when we're sanding. So I'm going to tape up around here on these 3 points. Sand this by hand with some wet and dry paper, just up against the edge. Get it to a point, take the old marks out, and then hit it with the sander. Being quite gentle on this part because this is where the signature is, so I really don't want to take too much off there, but enough that I get the marks out. It's sort of a balance, but yeah, so sand this and then get onto the polishing. So let's take this up first and start sanding. And now we have all this taped up. I've got some 2500 wet and dry paper. It has a little bit of Velcro on the back, so like these little tabs. And I've got this. It's like a piece of cork, with again with a bit of Velcro on it that these stick to. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this to just go lightly up against the edge, just to take out these marks here, as that's the safest way to not damage the wood. But I'm also going to cut this excess off so that it doesn't flap up onto the wood and sand it away. If I cut it nice and flush, it gives me a nice edge, and I'm just going to work this edge away on all 3 pieces with a little bit of water as well. So let's cut this off and start. So now there's no flat, and I can ride up against that nice and easy. Bit of water, make it nice and wet, and slowly work away. So now I've done the prepping, you could say, up against the edge. Now go on to the sander using these smaller ones that I've cut out of the bigger ones, so they're the same thing, 500, 600, 800. 15,000 and 2,000 this time. So I'm going to use these and just go over the faces and do the bigger areas, avoiding this signature. You see me going over it just a moment ago. I'm starting to lose the top of that signature, so I'm going to be very, very, very gentle with the sanding and try to avoid that area and only hit it over with possibly the 15 or 2,000, as that was 2,500 with these little ones that have done that. So I'm going to try and go over that less, bring it up to a 2,000 and on to the next step. So they start sanding that with the normal rotary with our little head Velcro. Quite simple. Let's start sanding. Oh, if I turn the switch on would help. Taking this up to a 2,000, I'm just going to go back on these edges with the wet and dry 2,500. Just go back over it a little bit. That's all done. Now normally my next stage would be to use one of these, the wheels, and polish this up, but the finish the client requires for this is a bit more luxurious. They want a better finish, so I'm not going to show this step as it's a big secret.
But why though?
But if you want to know, like and subscribe, and maybe I'll show you how I do it. Until then, you have to keep guessing.
Oh, that's top secret. Patent pending.
And if like magic, it was now all nice and shiny. If you think you know what I did, let me know in the comments. And that's it. So let's unwrap the tape, make sure it's nice and clean, and then do the whole thing again on the back. Now I've already done one spoke, and I've just got to do these two. But yeah, that's it. So I'm going to clean this off, do the back, and then get on to the other part. So I'll see you in a minute. Okay, we're all done. There's one side. And the back. Very nice, very nice. Now, we're going to do the centre part. This piece. So let's take this brush finish to a nice mirror finish like that. Nice and reflective. Exactly what we want. So let's do this one the same. Okay, so I'm going to mop this one. So again, you've seen this a couple of times now. Just going to take this, mop it with this, with some compound. Let's go.
That's hot. Oh, that's hot, hot, hot.
And as easy as that, this part's done. Nicely mirrored and very hot. So you see me there spinning it. So using the momentum from the mop just to pull this round and holding it tightly so I don't drop it, but loosely, like it still spins in my hand. I managed to let it spin, and letting it do that, you get a nice rotational finish rather than a scrubbing finish. So I'll let that cool and wipe it, just get a little bit of residue off, but that is done. And there we go. All nicely finished. Middle part polished as well. I'm sure my customer will be happy. I'm happy with this, how this turned out. I think it's much better than having the brush finish, the mirror. And I'm sure it'll look nice in the car. I'll see if I can get some pictures after. If I get them, then I'll be sure to put them in the video, but we'll see. And unfortunately, that's all we've got time for. So if you haven't already, please like and subscribe. And hopefully, I'll get 100 subscribers. And maybe I will share some of my secrets. Until then, take care. Bye.